Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first Career Day session. It's bright and early. I hope you all have some coffee and that you're ready to hear from our wonderful team at RSM. My name is Louise Maritz. I am the academic coordinator on the postgraduate program. And questions, you're welcome to pop it in the chat. And also raise your hand if you wanted to ask questions. I'm sure there'll be a Q&A session at the end of the session. We've only got 60 minutes, so keep your questions and things, and then we will, when there's a time, we will get to that. Just to note that the session is recorded. When you registered, you consented to that. I hope that that's not a problem on your side. And just for future reference, and if you wanted to go back to some of the firms. So this morning I want to welcome RSM. I'm joined by Marita and the team, and then also some Milpark alumni that will share their story with you as well. So Marita, I'm going to hand over to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Louise. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marita Kluter, and I'm the Resource Manager at RSM South Africa. As you can see today, we are an all-girls team. Guys, don't panic. We have men working with us, but they're normally less talkative than the girls, and that's why we decided not to bring them along. Sepang, Nwabisa, and Sanele will be sharing their journey and what you can expect if you select to do your articles with RSM. Mandy will give you valuable tips on how to look after your mental health during this demanding but very rewarding journey. If you have questions, please put it in the chat box and we will address them at the end of our presentation. Sepang, I will hand over to you now.
Thank you, Marita. Good morning, everyone. We're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us. So, as Marita said, I'm Sepang. I am a director at RSM. I'm also a people and culture co-leader for the firm. I actually did my articles with RSM. When I joined the firm, Marita was actually one person who interviewed me. So this is like a full circle moment. When I did with my articles with RSM, I was still a student because I was studying with UNISA. So kind of similar to what you have at Milpark, where you can study part-time and perhaps work at the same time. That's what I was doing. And if anyone's doing that, you know how challenging that is. So it was quite challenging. I needed to be highly disciplined. But what I loved about RSM at the time is I was supported by directors and managers who actually cared about my studies and not just signing the audit reports. They truly believe in the power of being understood because they understood my situation, and they would actually ask how I'm doing on the study front and also provided me with some study tips. It made the journey a lot easier. I stayed on with RSM after my articles, where I got an opportunity to go on secondment to the USA in Chicago. And I've actually traveled quite a bit with the firm. I've been to RSM Zambia, RSM Mauritius, which might sound like a vacation, but we actually had to work hard while we were there. And during my journey, what made me stay on after articles was because I saw how much experience I actually got in terms of the different clients I did, because I didn't get to specialize, which is what I love. So I got to do mining clients, I got to do public sector, I got to do listed companies, I even got to do manufacturing companies. And that actually helped me because at some point, I think around 2021, I decided to go into industry, into corporates, and I worked at RCL Foods. And my bosses there, some of them were coming from PwC and other big four companies, and they were quite shocked at how much knowledge I have and how quickly I am able to understand a business. And I don't take for granted that a lot of that comes from the way I was trained during articles, because like I said, you don't become a what is it, a leader in cash and bank or inventory. You actually get to see the file from start to finish. You actually get to understand the process from when it's just planned to when it's actually mined until you get the final mineral. So that is the valuable part of being in a medium-sized firm, that it's a true open door policy where you can walk up to a partner's office and ask questions, and they actually engage with you. Because I know that's what I do with some of the people on the call today, like Navisa, for example. We actually walk around, we take so much time in understanding our people's needs, and making sure that we actually equip you with the right skills, because we understand by the time you leave RSM, you're going to be in a position where you're going to become a leader. And I think that's what I love about my job, that we actually invest in our trainees. So when I was in corporate, you're probably wondering, then why did I come back? First, I'm a sucker for audit. Probably the only sucker I know for audit. I got bored in corporate because there wasn't pressure as much. So I decided to come back to audit. But when I came back to audit, I first went to a different firm. And when I was there, I just realized how much value RSM places in its people. I felt like I wanted to come back to RSM because at RSM, you're not just a number. You're not just a trainee who can't add value. We've got things like trainee forums where we actually established a body of trainees where we listen to what they have to say. Even if you decide to stay in audit, we've got a managers forum where, again, we listen to our people. So when I was at the other audit firm, which I won't name because RSM is the best, I then was like, okay, listen, I'm going back to RSM where we actually do add value. And during my journey, so you'll talk a bit to Mandy as well. What I enjoyed is I also got to consult with Mandy at some point because it is quite hard studying and working at the same time. And before I even came to RSM the first time around, I had like other work experience where I don't think you will find the level of care that you will find anywhere else that like you do at RSM. So with that said, I feel like I babble too much, right? So I'm going to let Navisa talk a bit about her experience and the hands-on training that she had. And I know this because she actually worked with me on a mining client. Navisa, over to you.
Thanks, Sepang. Hi, everyone. I am Navisa, as Sepang mentioned, and I'm a third-year trainee at RSM South Africa in Randburg, Johannesburg. A little background on myself, I actually completed my bridging course and my CTA here at Milpark. So I'm quite happy to be back on this very platform that changed things for me for the better. But today I'm going to be speaking about RSM and why I chose to complete my articles here. So firstly, I did a lot of research. I'm a research type of person. So I wanted a medium-sized audit firm that aligned with my needs at the time. And one of my needs was to work closely with my managers in order to learn and absorb as much as I could over the 3 years. Also, I tend to take a minute to get comfortable in environment or get acclimated in it. And I wanted a space where my needs would be nurtured and I wouldn't just be a number. Like in school, I struggled with auditing because I couldn't visualize what I was trying to do or trying to achieve. So there's always been that disconnect between the theory side and the practical side of audit. But thankfully, I got to work with managers that were willing to put their work aside and give me the time to work on something, whether it is an approach or a section I've never done before. And they will sit with me on a one-on-one and we'd work through it so that I can understand what I'm trying to do or trying to achieve. And after all, like Tsepang mentioned, we have the open door policy, and we're able to walk up to the manager and sit with them. After all, our slogan is the power of being understood. Now, I feel like I'm digressing. I know that it's easy to want to specialize quite early in your career, especially if you're good at management accounting or you're good at tax, and it's something you want to do in the future. But I would encourage completing articles at an audit firm because you get that basic foundation and understanding of how companies in different industries operate, right? You have an idea of how revenue works in a manufacturing company or a distribution company. And it's that very skill that sets you apart and makes you this viable or attractive candidate to future employers. And I'll make an example with one of the APT board course exams we had last year, where we had a mining company as the structure of the exam or the background on the exam. And I happen to have worked on a mining client where I did the journal testing. So firstly, that was my first time doing journal testing. So I wasn't even sure where to start. And Tsepang would set aside time where I would walk into her office at 7 in the morning. She just arrived. 7 in the morning, I walk in there with my laptop and my notebook, and I'm asking questions. Where do I start? What do I do? And through that, I got to have that experience where I'm looking out for the journals that they processed and the support that they had to process those journals to see whether is it classified correctly, is it in accordance with IFRS, are there any issues that are indicative of fraud. And through that exposure, it helped me in my preparation and my research for that exam, because we never got to go into detail with IFRIC 20, with the stripping costs that you see with open surface mines. And that's something that I took into account when I was preparing. So it does help you in the long run, being in these different industries and seeing how they work. Also, another thing is for those who want to specialize, you do get the exposure to other electives through audit. So you get to audit payroll taxes or corporate tax, or even assess how the client has their budgets for the next financial years. So now you get to perfect that before you go on to specialize. We also have secondment opportunities. Like Tsepang mentioned, you can go to one of our international offices, or you can go to the public sector and get to see how things work on the other side, because it is a bit different to what we do in the private sector, down to the standard that's being used, because they don't use IFRS. They make use of a modified cash standard. And again, it's that diversification in your client base that makes you this well-rounded candidate or newly qualified CA at the end of your articles. I'm not going to say that it's all hunky-dory, because you have different responsibilities as a third year, which now I'm experiencing, where I am in charging a file, and it's a bit stressful and it's overwhelming because you have a deadline that you're chasing. You're also kind of responsible in providing guidance to the people you're working with. For example, I'm working with a first year currently. So I need to now manage my time where I am looking at giving guidance and, giving approach on certain, certain sections in the file. But I'm also responsible for my own work and also providing feedback to the manager in terms of the status progress of the file. So it can get overwhelming. But then again, having that relationship with your manager, your partner, where you can tell them where you stand, and also bouncing off ideas with, your friends or your fellow third years, and saying, okay, I have this approach that we can do it this way. We can test, revenue this way. And they say, no, but I think according to, ISA or IFRS, we can do it this way. Having that helps a lot, because you know that you're not going through something alone, but you have other people who are also stressed, and you bond over that pressure. So I hope you guys take into account some of the things that I mentioned, and you consider signing with RSM. And also get to experience some of the things that we mentioned and get exposure to some of the things that we talked about this morning. And to the second intake, currently waiting for their results, I hope it goes well. To the intake about to write the exams, I wish you guys the very best. Something that Gareth used to say to us was, this journey is a mental game. And once you get your mind in the right headspace, you're guaranteed to do well or improve from how you did in your last test. Because at the end of the day, you know your work and you're competent, and that's why you got into the program. So I hope it goes well, and thank you for having me. I'll hand over to Sanele. Thanks, everyone.
Morning, everyone. I hope you are all well today. And my name is Sanele Mbali, and I am doing my second year at RSM. I'll be speaking briefly about why I chose RSM and also speaking to you guys on how I survived my CTA year while doing articles. I was lucky enough to be chosen by RSM to join them as part of their brand to actually do my articles last year. I also decided, you know what, let me do my CTA while I work. I knew that it was gonna be a stressful year. I was gonna cry. I was gonna want to quit. Like I knew what I was getting myself into, but I told myself that, you know what, I'm ready and I'm willing to fight for it. On on some days, I would wake up and not feel like doing it, but I would tell myself that this is what I want. I want to be a CA. I know that I can do it. I know that I can pass. So last year, while with Mill Park, I did my CTA with Mill Park, by the way. So while with Mill Park, for my first test, accounting, I had a 38%. And that for me, yeah, that caused me to panic a lot. I cried that day. I'm like, am I even going to make it if I'm getting marks like this? And bear in mind, I have to submit these marks at work. Will they think I'm competent enough? So yeah, I cried about it, but I told myself that, you know what, it happens, but I need to get back up. So the first step that I did that they like Milpark usually advised us to do was to reflect. I sat down, I reflected. Why didn't I pass this paper? Is it because I'm lacking content? Is it because I didn't have much time? What is the problem? And then after that, I was like, okay, I do like some exam technique stuff, and I probably need to ask some people who are good in accounting. And then because of RSM and how we are and how much we close to each other, like we're such a community. So I was able to vet out to my fellow trainees. I'm like, guys, I'm having this trouble. I don't know what to do. Like my accounting is bad and I can't fail at the end of the year. And then one of the trainees, well, one of my friends now that I met here at RSM, she was willing to give me her time. I remember we used to come in at the office like 7 in the morning. She would sit down with me, share her tips of how to actually pass accounting, how to answer theory questions, how to answer your calculations, like questions and everything else. And from then, I was like, okay, I can actually pass this thing and I'll put in the time. So I started coming to the office at 6 in the morning just to study. Every single day, I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would be like, I need to wake up. I need to go to the office. I need to get this done. So I'd arrive at 6 and do my lessons until like 8. And then from 8, I would shift and do my work till 4:30. And after work again, I would study. I just made sure that I put at least 5 hours on it daily to ensure that by the end of the year, I'm not panicking. I'm ready for my exams as well. One of my biggest motivators while I was doing my CTA was passing so that I can get the money. because the increase when you pass, I was like, that's what I'm looking forward to. I need that. So every single morning when my alarm would hit at like 4 a.m., I would wake up. I would be like, girl, wake up. There's money that you need to get. So yeah, that's what I did. And come end of the year, I moved from that 38% in accounting to like a 60 something in my final exams. And that for me was my biggest achievement. And I was able to pass CTA. And oh, it was the best news ever. Like it was the best thing ever. And then after defeating that Goliath, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to slay the next dragon. So January, I was like, you know what? Let me register for the IAC exam. And right, fine. I couldn't join a board course because, yeah, I was too late by the time I got my results. So I was like, you know what? Mill Park did equip me. I am ready to write that IAC. The fact that I passed my CTA means that I'm ready, and they did their job. So what I did in the 3 weeks that I had in January, I used one of the Millpark resources, the IAC preparation course that they had. I reflected on my final exam papers. I checked what did I get wrong, where do I need to improve, and I did I like ITC past papers as well. And then I reflected on those things as well. And then I was like, you know what? I'm ready. I can do this and I will do it. And again, my biggest motivator, guys, is money. So I thought about it. I was like, if I pass, again, I'll get an increase at RSM. So I was like, let me do that for myself. And then I went to write IAC. Then come April on the 4th, I got that SMS that says, congratulations, Sanele, you have passed. Oh, my heart. I was so happy. Like it was one of the best moments for myself as well. I was like, I deserve this. I worked hard for it. And then now on my journey, I've started with your APT board course, which is, yeah, a bit challenging because also I'm in second year now. There are things that are expected from me at work. I need to put in my like work. I need to be a senior a bit for the first years that are coming in. I need to provide guidance to them as well to teach them like how my fellow trainees last year that were second years were teaching me. So a bit about why I chose RSM to do my articles at. So I did my research as well. I asked like I think two people that did their training with RSM. I knew them from my undergrad year. So I spoke to them. I'm like, oh, how is RSM? The way they spoke about it, like they love RSM. They love it. I was like, like, why do you guys love it so much? And then they explained how much of a community RSM is, how much of like they're nice people, people that are very understanding to where you at in your journey as well. So I was like, okay, let me try this firm and hope that they take me. Um, Luckily, I was chosen and I came here, and I don't regret my choice ever. And also, I was looking forward to the fact that it's a medium-sized firm. So I really wanted as much exposure as I can get in different multiple industries in terms of the work that I get. I've been exposed to so many industries, your financial services, your mining, your manufacturing, like different industries. And that for me, yeah, it has been amazing. I've been learning a lot of things. And also, I chose RSM because it offers secondments. I was like, I want to be part of those people that are going overseas. Like, I want to broaden my basically my career in terms of where I work once I qualify as well. I wanted that opportunity to say, if I choose to leave South Africa, I can. Like, I just wanted that choice as well. And yeah, that's a bit, yeah, a brief why I chose RSM. I'll hand over to Marita now. She has a surprise for everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Guys, what will a Friday be without some fun? We are giving away 300 Rand Uber Eat vouchers. Please add your name, your student number in the chat box. And Sepang will announce the winner after Mandy's presentation. So get your student numbers in the chat box. Thank you, Mandy. We can't wait to hear what tips are you going to share to ensure that these future CIs look after their mental health.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to chat to you as well this morning. My name is Mandy, and I'm the in-house psychologist for RSM. So as all the other ladies mentioned, that we are really looking after the employees of RSM, and if there's any need of any kind, then we're there for them. So with no further ado, let's quickly chat about 2025. You are now in this turmoil of working, studying, maybe getting engaged, and really are part of life as well. So from my side, I want to focus on the mental side, as I think it was Noah Bisa said that Gareth said it's a mental game. So therefore, we all need to really focus on not only on the numbers that you are studying. So to be emotionally balanced, we are usually looking at all these aspects of the physical, intellectual, environmental, social, spiritual, emotional, and financial. And if one slice of the cake is bigger than the others, then we are out of balance and then we are struggling. So it's very important to know what the slices is all about, and then also how to address that. Am I on mute?
No.
Well, okay, sorry. Okay, so the emotional wellness is all about stress. Stress, frustration, and anxiety is real. And the human body is designed to experience the stress, but it is how you react to it. Do you react to it on a positive side? Because stress can also motivate you. It can actually help you to avoid danger as well. And now it's stuck. Let me just see. Okay, there you go. Now, how to address your emotions? At first, it's very important to acknowledge your emotion. Are you happy? Are you lonely? Are you sad, overwhelmed, playful? And react to that then and guide it into a positive outcome. So therefore, you need to know when, where, and what trigger your emotions, specifically when it's a negative emotion, because then you can change it. You can anticipate that, and you can prepare your emotions and always be in control. And that's the crux of it, is to be in control of your emotions as much as we can. Nobody is perfect. We all daily are challenged by that, but that's the end game. So causes of stress, it's usually the substance abuse, parents are fighting, small things can trigger it. There's no emotions, you don't have food, toxic relationships, study life balance, poor time management. So I'm not going to go through everything, but I want to pay your attention on the social addictiveness. And I do think that's the one thing that I found as a therapist a lot, on all levels of life, that people, when they want to take a break, then they usually go to the social platform, and then they are getting hooked, and eventually they are wasting time. And it's actually just entertaining, as well as there's a neuro impact on their neurons, so that they get more tired, more stressed out, and so forth. So one of my pleas today is to keep it short, and sometimes just put your phone or your social device in an orange bag, like going to jail, and leave it for a while when you really need to focus on your studies. Okay, so why it's important for me as a psychologist to know the triggers as well as to know where you are, because chronic stress can lead to things that we want to fight, flight, or freeze on. And the things that we are usually getting is substance abuse. We start off neglecting our hygiene, we stop our hobbies, and we are avoiding taking risks, and we are putting ourselves into a bully behavior where we are being bullied, but sometimes, most of the times, we are become the bully. We are start of criticizing others. We are negative. We don't see an outcome. And we actually have a ripple effect where we then, in our teams, we are making them negative as well. We sometimes isolate ourselves socially. We are getting depressed, anxiety, and sometimes in self-harm as well. So some of the coping strategies that you can immediately start off doing to handle your stress is prioritize and time management, get a to-do list, and breaking your tasks into smaller chunks. Be realistic. I do find the people that are more prone to burnout is usually people that are perfectionistic and they cannot let a project go. They want to finalize and refine it as much as they can, and then they are not effective enough. Be mindful and use relaxation techniques like breathing or muscle relaxation, a healthy lifestyle, and that's now where they sometimes make us feel guilty because we do not exercise enough, have a healthy diet, listen to music, but most important on that side, get sufficient sleep. I do think that is important for healing and get yourself into a good space. So boundaries, and that's where I really think you need to focus on your personal work-life phase. And there it starts usually with good communication. If you are in a study mode, please communicate with your friends, with your family, that I can only chat to you between 1 and 2. Otherwise, I will be in trouble, and then you are taking some of my study times. Communicate when do you take breaks, that you can communicate with family. And then also ask them specifically when you're in the exam phase of, please don't share negative information with me, because what's happened is when you're going to sleep, then your brain is trying to solve it and you're using some of your energy to solve the problems. Problems can be solved, and you must know that you can control the problem. It's not the end of the world, and that's then important enough to seek solutions, where you go to academic advisors, go to friends, go to family, and as all the other ladies mentioned, we're going to each other in our working environment, and if all else fails, then we go to a therapist, where we deep dive and really see how we can help you. So other things that you can do on a daily scale is walk around the block, give yourself rewards for every task or thing that you did, put a Smartie in a jar and eventually eat it, something like that. Make eye contact with people. That's the one important thing, is that people start off making less eye contact. Help a co-worker. Do 3 things a day that make you happy, and you can choose it and then tick it off. Get enough sleep, as I mentioned, start off a hobby, and make most of your free time. That is important as well, because we usually just block and then go on social media. So emotional wellness, and that's where I want to also end up with, is to focus on the positive. Look at all the things that you accomplished and keep a journal. That is important for you to get yourself motivated and get yourself going forward, baby steps. And that's what I really feel compassionate about, is the self-compassion. Be your best friend. Treat yourself as if you were treating other friend, with kindness and understanding, because we are tending to go into negative self-talk and then negative behavior, like I'm stupid, I'm lazy, I'm dumb, I cannot understand what's going on, and so forth. So find meaning and purpose. Understand why you do what you are doing, why you are studying and working. And then again, reframe your negative thoughts. If you feel that you are not worthy of anything, then focus on the opposite. I am worthy, and what can you do about it? If you have low energy, what can I do to create the next hour more energy? A cup of coffee, sitting outside in the sun, walking around the block, and immediately change of the scenery will help you getting into a more positive mode. So with that, I just want to end up by saying I hope that all of you will be winners, that you will not stay under the rainy cloud. And thank you so much for listening to me. And have a lovely day and best of luck with all your studies. And then I hand over to Marita again. Thank you, Marita.
Thank you, Mandy. I'm sure you guys can't wait who's winning these vouchers. So, Tsepang, if you can maybe read out the names and also put it in the chat box. And I did put my email address in the chat box. The 2 winners can just contact me via email and I will arrange for the vouchers to be delivered to your house. And then once Tsepang has announced the winners, then we will start going through the questions in the chat box. Tsepang?
Okay. Thanks, Marita. Can I win one of them?
How will you do this audit trial, Tsepang?
Okay, let me be ethical. So I'll call out the student numbers and I got the first names. So the student number for the first winner, it's is it MI or is it M1? Okay, I'm not sure, but it's MI0383801, and that's Pauline. And then the second one is MI0372529, and that's Butlali.
Well done, you two.
Well done. You must share with me. I'm good people.
I'll take you for lunch, Tsepang, don't worry. You've got too much work anyway. Okay.
I hope I get a voucher in Cape Town.
When we come and visit you, Mandy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go through the questions, guys. I think I'll answer most of them, but if I have any questions that I can give to the others, I will give it to them. The first question from Anga is asking, how many first years do we take a year? We only have one intake a year, and that starts in February. In the Johannesburg office, we take between 30 and 40 trainees a year. In the Cape Town office, we take between 10 and 15 trainees a year. Nyasha asked, do we accept any non-South African citizens? You can apply, Nyasha. If you are currently a PDGA student, we have already filled our foreign quota for both the Cape Town and the Johannesburg office for our intake for 2026. But you're welcome to contact me directly and I can explain the process to you. There are quite a few questions of, do we take students without CTA or who wants to do it like Sanelli, do it part-time? It's not our first preference, guys. And I think Sanelli made it very clear in her presentation. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot out of you. I promise you, if she said she was at the office 6 o'clock in the morning, she was here 6 o'clock in the morning. No matter if it was raining, no matter if it was snowing, summer, winter, she was here. And some of us can do it. And I take my hat off for Sanelli that did it. Well done, Sanelli. But it is very, very hard. But you're welcome to apply. I will look at your application and we can have a discussion at least and see where it goes to. The same with BCTA, Sakoli. I think I answered your question. Do we take students who's got previous work experience? Yes, we do. And RPL is always a discussion because most probably you want some remission for the work that you've done at a link. Can we start with our articles while we're busy with CTA? Tetsetsu, I've already answered that. This one is a bit tricky, Pumzile. You're asking if we consider students who sign who did articles before but did not sign off their articles, you're welcome to contact me directly as well. It will really depend on the specific situation. How far in your articles were you? Was it like in your third year? By the time you were supposed to sign off, you didn't sign off. It will really, really depends on the circumstances of every individual. I already touched on Vanessa's question. Do we have a June intake? Unfortunately not. We have one intake. Thank you, Nwabisa, for answering that. I'm scrolling down. Is there minimum average that you need to achieve? I always say, guys, if you pass PGA with 450s, you've passed it. And I think that is the biggest obstacle. And I'm not taking anything from IEC. I'm not taking anything from APC. But I think once you overcome that obstacle of passing PGDA, it gives you such a mental boost that the other exams are looking very easy. So as long as you pass PGDA in one sitting, we're happy to look at your application. Then there's quite a lot of student numbers. We have offices in Cape Town, Honda, I said we do. They are situated in Rondebosch. They're a bit smaller than the Joburg office, but they also have lovely people there. We use exactly the same, I want to say, a duplication of what we do in the Joburg office as we do it in the Cape Town office. Current RS employee, Yvette, what are you asking? Yvette is just saying something. She's saying we all should know Mandy because Mandy is keeping us on the right track. Sepang has answered. How do we go? Maybe are we delayed? Let me think about this one. Okay, the question is, how do we reconcile SAICA's competing requirements with sustainability workloads? And how have we ever delayed the trainees' progress for well-being reasons? I won't say, if a trainee is in I don't want to say a state. The state is not the right English word. But if a trainee's mental health is of such a nature that he or she cannot perform, SAICA do give us the opportunity to suspend that training contract. So the trainee has the ability to suspend the training contract. Obviously, you will have to have a note from the doctor to say, currently you're not mentally healthy, and they recommend that you suspend your articles to look after your mental health. So that is a possibility, Mandy.
Sorry, Marita. It's always the GP as well as a psychologist, and then a psychiatrist. We usually refer to a psychiatrist specifically when it's a mental disorder. And through that, so it's not only the GP.
Okay, thank you, Mandy. So yes, it is. Work-wise, we have Mandy. So if you have a problem, you can reach out to Mandy. Mandy will deal with you. But I want to say, even before a problem becomes so big that you need to go to Mandy, I think both Saneli, Tsepang, and Nwabisa has told you that there are people that you can talk to. You don't need to let it become so big that you feel like you're drowning. If you have too much work or if you feel overwhelmed, there's nothing that prevents you to go and, if Tsepang is, for example, the audit director, to go to Tsepang. Tsepang is not going to think of you badly or think of you as lazy or not willing to work. She will rather appreciate you coming to her to say to her, Tsepang, I'm overwork, I'm overwhelmed. Even I have lots of trainees who's coming to me, or not lots, but trainees that will phone, even 6 o'clock in the morning, like a Sanel. They will come and say, I've got 2 audits that's following me. I need to clear the queries. I don't have time to clear the queries. And all it takes is really a phone call or a Teams call to the 2 managers and say, Tsepang, Nwabisa's really to her wits end. Can you please take her off the audit for 1 day so that she can clear Mandy's queries? They're very understanding, they're very accommodating. So we will not put more work on you if you feel mentally you're drowning. We have ways, we have people that you can speak to. At the end of the day, people is our most important asset at RSM. Without people, we cannot survive. And if we don't look after them, then we're failing ourselves. Okay. Katligo wants to know, Mandy, do you want to add anything else on wellness maybe that I skipped? Okay. Do we offer study assistance? This year we haven't offered study assistance. We really look at it every year to see how many people firstly will do CTA part-time and then make a decision from there. However, we do pay for your IIC board course as well as for the exam. The same for IPC. We pay for your board course and your exam. Even in a case where you only join us in February, we will pay for your board course even if you're not with us yet. Okay. I'll ask. When do applications normally open? Applications is open for the 26 and the 27 intake. So you're more than welcome to apply. I just want to make you guys aware that normally at the end of September, we've received or I've interviewed enough people and made enough offers, and we then start putting students on a waiting list if they then still apply. So I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible so that we can get through the interview process and you can decide where you want to do your articles at the end. Hello, I already mentioned we don't have a half-year intake. Vanessa, you answered it, sorry. Study assistant, we already did the international students. Okay. What's one trait that you see an exception in RSM trainees that wasn't obvious from their academic record? And here, I want to say, respect is one of the things. And it's not obvious from an academic record, because sometimes your academic record, you can be a superstar. But when you come into the workplace, you're falling apart. And I want to say, all these exceptional students, respect is a big thing in their lives. And respect goes so far. It's not just respecting the other people you're working with, your colleagues, but it's respecting deadlines, respecting the time of others, respecting communicating with your team. Respect Tsepang so much that you say, Tsepang, I cannot meet your deadline on Friday. And I'm not saying that to Tsepang Friday morning at 10 o'clock and the deadline is at 4 o'clock. So that's why I say respect is one of the things. If a trainee has that, he will ensure he hands in work of such a good quality because he respects you. He respects the work that he delivers. So that is one of the traits that will make you an exceptional trainee. Tsepang?
Thank you so much for that, Marita. I 100% agree because you'll hear from what Sanela and Wabisa have said that we've created an environment where it's like a community. You are working with your, not literally, but you're working with your uncles, your aunts, your cousins. And if you are a family, what gets family through is that respect. It's quite important to have that because that will also help you to be able to build relationships. Because I always say to trainees, in your articles, it's probably the one time in your professional career where you will have people who are going through such similar circumstances as you and are striving towards the same goal. And those relationships that you build is the ones that you're going to rely on after you've left articles. Thanks, Marita.
Thanks, Tsepang. Patience is asking if we do take ACCA trainees. Unfortunately not. We only offer SAICA articles. The minimum average we already did. The funding we already did. 2027 applications is open already. Okay, now I'm going to hand this question to Tsepang. They say, are we working from the office or do we have a hybrid working environment?
We have hybrid, but we mostly prefer that it's encouraged to come to the office or to go to the client because that is where you learn best. What we noticed during COVID is that trainees who worked from home were actually disadvantaged because you don't learn the skill of asking questions, how to communicate with clients. You don't get to experience how to be in a room with young minds and trying to resolve problems and come up with solutions. So we do encourage that people come to the office. Working from home is only in exceptional circumstances. And the director that you're working with, as well as the manager, have to give pre-approval for you to be able to work from home. So it really is in special circumstances. But you'll see once you come to RSM, because I hope to see y'all, that there's value in actually being present within a team, either at the office or at the client. Thanks,
Tsepang. Then we have a question to say, what's the process of cancelling a contract when I do not want to join RSM anymore? And so, yeah, you're welcome to, if you have a contract, you're welcome to send me an email and I will release you from that contract. No harm. It means you believe we're not the right fit for you, or some firms might have given you sign-on bonuses, which we don't do. But yeah, if you are signed with us, you're welcome to send me an email and just ask that we release you from that contract. I have no problem with that. Please don't wait till you pass CTA and we start the onboarding process and then you tell us you no longer want to join us. But I don't know why you didn't want to join us. Okay. I think we've answered all the questions. I get lots of questions about study payment assistance. We've touched on that. we're not helping you with your fees. Sanele has told you you get lots of work, big increase. So yeah, Tsipa.
Thanks, Marita. There's another question that I saw where they are asking if they can join RSM after they've probably completed like first year articles with another firm.
We will look at your application. You're welcome to apply. Obviously, we will also look at the reasons why you left the other firm. That will play a part in our decision. Also, it becomes sometimes difficult with RPL. If you come from a small little firm and you are with us now and you might have done only reviews, and now you want to get the full period at your other firm as remission. But we never just send students away that had a contract previously. We do look at each application individually. There's also a question. I see you, Louise. We have 4 minutes left. There's a question about do we assist international students with getting the work permits? We will give you all the documentation for the work permit to apply. Louise?
Thanks, Marita. I think the last question that we can take is just the one in the Q&A box. So I don't know if you saw that one. It's actually quite a cool one.
You can just ask it. I'm still scrolling down if you don't mind sharing.
It's from Bianca. It says, perhaps this is a bit answered in bits and pieces, but maybe to the two students, alumni, what is the favorite thing about the RSM working environment?
Me.
No, Marita.
Maybe from everyone. Let's do it, everyone, and then we close it there.
No, I say they must say me.
Well, okay. Now I'll be honest. I think it will be great to have coffee with you once a week in the office. I think if I had to sign now, I'm excited for the students.
Sanele?
I think the best thing for me, as I've mentioned, is the community that it offers. Having people where like they are understanding of where you're at, having managers, you are able to go to their office and just vent. I'm like, I'm too tired, I can't do this. Like, how did you guys survive? Like such things, and that open door policy that you get. Like, I don't know how many times I've messaged my directors that I work for, like message them, I'm stuck, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here, can you explain? And because I've been in the industry for so many years, they break it down to you, they explain things to you. I think that's one of the things that get me through, the people.
Yeah, I share the same sentiments with Sanele. But another thing, like she mentioned earlier, the increases are very nice. Like it's that motivator. It's that motivator. It's nice. But honestly, being able to speak to your friends as well, if you're struggling, and telling them that, listen, I'm thinking this is how I should approach something, and they have something else. It's nice bouncing off that idea and going to your managers and your partners. It's definitely something that has gotten me through most of my articles, because I've definitely been challenged, doing things that I've never done before. So having that community and the money. Yeah.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for a lovely session. I enjoyed all the interaction and engagement. As I mentioned, I would have loved to go through all of these options at this time. Unfortunately, I'm too old for that now. But thank you so much for the session. If you've got any questions, perhaps Marita, you can just share your contact details again in the chat, so that they can reach out to you. And then those with the Uber Eats vouchers, enjoy and think of the rest of us. What an awesome idea.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're looking forward to the next one with you again, and have a lovely Friday afternoon. Or Friday day. Sorry, I'm an afternoon already.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
For the whole day. Thank you, everybody. Bye.